Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. This was a podcast this weekend that almost didn't happen. I was really ill this week. Actually, I'm usually really good at things like this. My immune system is usually fantastic. I very rarely get ill. And I think I mentioned a while ago on the show that my little boy and my wife were ill with a stomach bug, and I was kind of really smug. I was like, I haven't got no bug. My immune system, look at me, I'm so strong. And then a week later, I ended up coming down with it. I actually had to call in sick from work, and I was on the sofa feeling sorry for myself, as guys do. And so I wasn't really in. Well, I could have done an interview, but I just didn't want to invite people around and make them poorly too. So I was meant to speak to the guys from Slap. You may have heard about Slap. They're doing a lot of great things around Shrewsbury. It's more than just litter picking, I suppose. They get together as a team and they take areas of Shrewsbury and they completely clear them of all the rubbish, dangerous things and other things that are unsightly in an area, and they completely clear them up. I'm in awe of these guys and what they do for the community. So I was looking forward to speak to them, and I'm really sorry that I had to cancel, but I just didn't want to give you my germs, And but towards the end of the week, I was feeling a lot better, in fact, and so I kind of felt really guilty about not bringing a show this weekend. So I reached out on Thursday, I think it was Thursday. I reached out and I put a message on our group if anybody would like to come in and do an interview. It was very short notice, on the spot. In all honesty, I wasn't expecting anyone to get back to me. I thought I was going to have to just, have a break for the weekend. But Claire from Lovely Land got in touch, and on that day agreed to come round my house and to record the podcast that you're about to listen to. And it's all about Lovely Land. Claire has put together a great community project where they work all around all different parts of Shrewsbury to try and get kids and people out in the gardens growing vegetables. And it's another great example of Shrewsbury and how people in the community want to do things for others, and it's so commendable. And it's not something that is I've seen a lot of in towns that I've lived around. It's not something that you see everywhere, and it's just another example of what makes Shrewsbury great. So thank you to Claire, and she brought ALISON along as well, because they're creating a yarn bombing event. You've heard me mention it before on the show, but I wanted to get to know a bit more. It's a nice little half an hour podcast, a nice little soundbite for you guys to listen to, and there's a lot of information there. And I think you'll all agree with me that they're doing an amazing thing, just like the guys from Slap, just like from everybody else that's kind of trying to do things for the community with the community, And it was a really good. I wasn't quite with it. I mean, I like to, when I do shows. I'm a bit of a workaholic. I'm constantly working on my material and bits for the show, and that short space of time. I had my little boy during the day, so I didn't have a lot of time to sit, research, write notes and things. So it was very on the spot kind of chat. But these guys are so lovely, and they're so easy to chat to, that we created a really nice little podcast. So thank you to Claire, thank you to Alison, thank you to everyone at Lovely Land that's doing what you're doing, because it makes me proud. I'd like to get involved with the arm bombing project. I might even make a pom-pom or two. It's not a promise, but the intentions are there, I gotta say. But any listeners of the show, I encourage you to have a look in your wardrobes, or wherever you've got little bits of wool. If you've got anything that you can help with this project, you've got bits of yarn you don't use anymore, any needles you don't use anymore. If you're young guys and you don't knit or whatever, ask your parents, ask your folks, ask your grandparents if they've got any spare yarn, and get in touch with me. And I'd love to turn up to one of these the meetings. They meet up in pubs sometimes and have knitting sessions. I'd love to turn up one day with a box full of yarn. I'll try and get around and try and find some bits for them to help out, because it's not just the yarn bombing. On the 20th of April, when they do it as well, they have like a kids nature trail and the Easter egg hunt. They kind of do everything for everybody. So if we can all help out, I think we should, because I think it's a very worthwhile course. And also on a separate note, but regarding this show, I wanted to thank everybody. And, from the bottom of my heart, the show's just reached 1,000 downloads. And it shows that this show is working, A lot of people are getting involved. A lot of people really enjoy listening to it, We get a lot of nice messages about what the show does, and how, people enjoy listening to it. It's almost like an audio magazine, You get to listen to what's going on around your town. And I'm really, really proud of where the show's gone and how it's grown. And I wanted to thank you guys. And, I'm not just leaving the show as it is. I'm actually working on bringing a couple of little bits to the show. We had this one of my friends, Shane, who you will hear on the show at some point. He works with me on another podcast. I love Shane. He come up with this great idea, something called Memoirs of a Salopian, where we speak to people that lived in the town for many a decade. I want to speak to people about, kind of where they used to work, the schools they used to go to, the pubs they used to drink in, and things they used to do around the town, because the town changes all the time. It'd be nice to give you guys a bit of nostalgia. It'd be great if it come accompanied with a few photos and things as well, because it's nice. I mean, you see on For the Love of Shrewsbury, all these great old pictures of Shrewsbury. It'd be great if a story came with those pictures. Really good idea. Something I think we should work with. I also have something else I can't really talk about at the moment, but it's a fantastic idea that would be a great way of working with other parts of journalism and things through town that we might be able to bring to the show. So we're growing, and I've started doing 10 a.m. updates on the Facebook group, things like that, And you know what? You can get in contact as well. Please do get in contact with the show. If you've got a story about Shrewsbury, if you've got a concern, if there's something an event that you're trying to push, like Lovely Land, there are so many things that I've mentioned on the show. If you really just want to get in touch, please do. You can contact me via Twitter. We are at the Shrewsbury B1. You can speak to me on the Facebook group we've got there, Instagram as well. And also you can email me if you want to go old school and email me. We are shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. I haven't got a website yet, so we haven't got a professional email, but we will do soon. Thank you guys. This is a great episode, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll leave you with me and Claire and Alison, and I'll catch you guys next week. I hope you enjoy this one. Any notes, just drop me a line. Peace out, guys. Guys, thank you very much for joining me on the Shrewsbury Biscuit. A very impromptu kind of show we've put together. I was meant to work with the guys from Slap. I was meant to be interviewing them on Wednesday, but I come down with a stomach bug, so my immune system just betrayed me, and I had to cancel that show, and I felt really bad. So I was like, I really need someone to come on, and you guys offered, and at such a short notice today.
No problem. Thanks for having us.
So thank you very much. So introduce yourselves, guys.
Well, my name's Claire, and I run Lovely Land, which is a social enterprise that works with children and community groups to grow food. Yeah. And Alison is here with me.
Hello. Yes, I'm Alison. I've got a little business called Romy Design, which is based in the Market Hall, where I am a designer and maker.
Oh, so you're in the Market Hall. I love that place. I've been dying to do something with that. It's just such a big place. I don't want to sit there with a microphone. It's just so much to take in, isn't it? But yeah, that's cool. Lovely Land. I first got the attention from the yarn bombing. We'll get onto that in a bit. From the Facebook group of that, and I had a good read of what Lovely Land is, and it hit me right in the feels. That community spirit sort of thing.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's a big passion, really. The gardening, the growing, and the food on one side, and then working with kids, connecting them with nature. Just getting their hands literally dirty.
Where is Lovely Land based then?
Lovely Land isn't just one place; it's everywhere. We have Lovely Land gardens all over the place. So wherever we work or deliver a project, that's Lovely Land.
Oh, fantastic. So where have you got them then, these gardens?
So we work with a few schools in Shrewsbury itself. We also work with some community gardens. And like this sort of year, what we're doing is working in Castlefields in particular. So the whole of Castlefields is going to become a little bit lovely land.
That's fantastic. See, you've got a spread across the town, and you can communicate with different areas of the town, I guess, with these gardens.
Yeah. I mean, we work here in Bellevue as well, in Holy Trinity at the play group there. We're helping them create their garden, develop it, and just make it accessible for the kids to use it. And then we all pop in and we sort of take lots of different seeds and vegetables and help them grow some food.
Fantastic. Well, where did this begin? Where did the idea come from to start something like this?
Well, I've always been a keen gardener, so that's always been there for me. And then I used to teach, so I have a sort of background in education. And then since having little ones, I've just seen like how important it is for them to be outside, to get active, to get dirty, and to understand where food comes from.
There seems to be a lot in Shrewsbury. That's kind of a lot of activities you don't really have to pay for or pay a lot of money for anyway for children, and I see that as a great thing. I mean, I've lived all over the place, you don't see that everywhere, and you contribute to that, so that's fantastic, you know.
Well, we do that because we have people supporting us, so the town council is supporting us in this Castlefields project in particular.
Why wouldn't they? It's an amazing idea.
And they should do it more often.
And you have a great support with you, so Alison's here with you. What do you do towards the project? You just work together with it, or?
So in terms of working together with Lovely Lands, I help Claire out with some graphics and kind of flyers and things like that.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
She's great.
But in terms of the yarn bombing project, I've basically just become a manic crochet and knitter and can't make stuff fast enough.
And soon to be a wonderful veg grower as well.
Oh yes, I'm going to participate in the growing a spud on my front doorstep. So Castlefields is a really good area for kind of front little courtyard areas.
Okay.
And at the minute, most people just use it for storing their wheelie bins and recycling. So it's really nice because Claire's got this project where the kids are kind of got their potato sacks and are growing potatoes and having their own little Lovely Lands out the front of their house. And I don't have children myself, but I wanted some potatoes. So I'm going to participate.
What a strange thing to think about, people growing like their own vegetables in their bin cupboards. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's there's just that cute little courtyard outside the front of the houses. And yeah, the recycling stuff normally sort of sits there. So to have stuff, especially food, growing out the front, then I think that's a good thing.
Everyone's becoming more kind of nature aware now, aren't they? Especially with the single-use plastics and the recycling and things like this, growing your own food, you know?
Yeah, the environmental impact, I think, especially on the reduced plastics sort of ethos that's out there at the moment is fantastic. And anything that we can do to sort of supplement that and work with that, I think it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a serious problem with overcharging of foods and vegetables and things in certain supermarkets. So if you teach people to grow their own vegetable, it cancels out the problem, right?
Well, it's amazing. I mean, not everyone has a space, especially in a town, to do that. But especially this particular community project, it shows you that you can actually grow food in
it's not about being
spaces.
Sustainable. It's about having the know-how. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Everybody can afford to grow a farm in their back garden. So, okay, when did Lovely Lands begin? When did it begin?
Well, we're in our 5th year now, so
wow.
we've and I've had 2 children in that time, so it's been busy. But we've grown sort of project on project, and you know, this year's sort of our strongest year, so hopefully we'll keep going and get bigger and better.
Do you have many sort of volunteers around it taking part?
We do, yeah. We sort of, each project's quite different, really.
Yeah.
Especially in terms, because you're trying to get the funding to support these projects in the community. So some are working in schools, and then some are working with smaller groups or sort of quite large groups or whole communities, like this Castlefield one. So they're all quite unique. So what you need for each one is quite different. And this particular one this year has been, we need loads of volunteers. Hence, Alison sat next to me. I knew that she was really handy with knitting needles, so I recruited her for the yarn bombing project.
Okay, and what is the yarn bomb? I know what the yarn bombing project is, but let's tell people what it is.
Okay, well this one's actually got nothing to do with growing food. So it's sort of, but it's grown quite organically from the community project. So there's a bridge in Castlefields. It's really big, and
it seems to be getting bigger by the day as well.
It's quite ugly. It's not pretty, is it?
Not pretty in the slightest.
Shrewsbury has a lot of bridges, so this one isn't one of the pretty ones.
I'm sure there's a solution for that.
So there was this sort of trend happening in Castlefields where residents were putting padlocks on the bridge. You might have heard of that happening all over the world, and really famous bridges. There weren't loads of padlocks on the bridge. There was, maybe about 30.
Sentimentally, there was.
Absolutely. They engraved their initials onto it, or commemorate like a event or a birthday or a celebration.
Yeah.
So, and they were padlocking them to the bridge and then throwing the key in the river. And just before Christmas, I believe, the council took the padlocks off. And I had a padlock on there given me, and my daughter had one on for her 4th birthday. And I just thought it was a bit of a shame, really. So the yarn bombing is a bit of a positive sort of response to that act, really. We decided that instead of padlocks, we'd decorate it with wool.
It's cute rebellion. That's what it is.
It's a mama rebellion.
Whose idea was it to do this then? The yarn bombing. Where did that come from?
Well, I just thought I'll just knit some bunting and put it up. And then I spoke to other people and said, hey, I really want to do this thing. And then they all went, that's such a great idea.
And it escalated from there pretty fast.
Lots of people came with loads of ideas of what we could do. Really creative people, just doing amazing things. I mean, some of the things that they've produced has been fantastic. So I have just made a bit of bunting. Well, a lot of bunting. But other people have got really creative.
Has it kind of snowballed? Has it kind of more people? Or is it just kind of...
It has snowballed. I mean, the Facebook group, we've got nearly 100 people on the group now. And we meet up once a week in the local pub and we sit and we knit and we have a pint and it's lovely. But the number of people that then message saying, oh, sorry, I can't make it to the pub. I've got this bunting that I've made. I've got this panel that I've created. Where can I drop it off? And it's happening without us knowing about it, which is really quite incredible.
I'm sitting here giggling because I'm just thinking of the idea of guys and drinking beer, or people drinking beer whilst doing this. They're going to get wonkier and wonkier. The more pints
it gets slower the more drinks we have, that's for sure.
We do have a few sort of pauses and tuts in the middle of a conversation. Oh, I just dropped a stitch. But on the whole, it's going well, isn't it?
It's really nice. Yeah, it's really good fun. And it amuses the locals in the pub greatly.
What about youngsters? Have you had youngsters getting involved, learning how to knit?
So I'm due to go into one of the local schools next week, actually, and deliver an assembly on this, and we'll be making pom-poms with them. We've definitely had some local families, people like mothers and daughters sitting down to do it, and we've had a lovely sort of bag of pom-poms delivered to us from Maxine and Ben. Thank you, Ben, who is 4, I believe, who's been helping make pom-poms. We've had Steve, shout out to Steve in the pub, who regularly attended on a Tuesday night anyway.
Which pub's this?
This is the Dog and Pheasant in Castlefields.
Dog and Pheasant, Castlefields. Make sure you go for a pint there, people.
Absolutely.
Give him a shout out and might as well do it properly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Steve is the pom-pom king, isn't he?
He is now.
I think he's up to 130 at the moment.
Yeah, he comes in, he sits there with his pint, and I trade him a bag of wool for 2 bags of pom-poms every week. So he's, Is
this something he'd be proud to be known as, the pom-pom king?
Well, I hope so, because he is now.
This is really good. I mean, you're getting people involved, and anything to do with getting the community together for whatever project it is, it's quite a romantic idea. I mean, how long do you think this is how long has it been taking to put all this together? Like, when did you start it?
Well,
my words muddled down.
It's taken a lot of effort. It's taken a lot of effort on everyone's part, the volunteers. I've had loads of help organising, especially the yarn bombing. ALISON, who comes with me when I have to do podcasts and radio interviews. And Rachel, big shout out to Rachel, who organises like the weekly meetups.
Yeah.
and then just everyone who sort of contributes with their ideas and just in loads of different ways.
And the wool donations that we've been getting as well. We've been really lucky. RKM Wools, who are based in Shrewsbury, have donated us so much wool that we can kind of make a lot of pom-poms because of it. And then people have been donating within the community, kind of clearing out their cupboards and finding stuff. So it's been really good fun, hasn't it?
It's been great. Yeah.
Yarn from the past.
The support has been amazing.
Have you had people that have surprised you? I guess Steve is probably one of them, but people that surprised you and be like, you can knit? I never knew. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely Steve was the biggest surprise when he turned up with his first bag of pom-poms. And they're very neat too. Well done, Steve. But I think it crosses ages. It's some people who are just totally into knitting and crocheting and creating some amazing, gorgeous stuff. And
yeah, we've got a lady called Ruth who has just made the most beautiful panel. It's kind of got little ladybirds on it and flowers, and the detail and work she's put into it is just incredible.
So there's going to be some real sort of artworks up there as well. It's not just going to be sort of bright coloured bunting.
Fantastic. I can't remember this bridge. I can't remember seeing it. You say it's big. How much are you having to create to build this bridge? I mean, is it when you say yarn bombing, is it just creating bunting from one side to the other, or are you going to literally cover all the railings with it?
We're covering the railings. So the bridge is kind of made up of mesh panels almost that edge it. And I think there are, how many panels? 48 panels we counted?
Yeah, there are 24 on each side.
So
and each one measures 5 foot
5 foot by 3. And the aim is to try and cover every other one. And then the ones that we don't cover fully, we want to kind of string bunting across. So, the bridge is fully accessible for everyone to get over still, but the edges of the bridge are going to be glorious and yarny.
And you've had a bit of you've had backing, haven't you, from local authorities and things like for this?
Well, this yarn bombing project is sort of a spin-off from the project that we started with Lovely Land. We've run a potato day in the community centre. On the same day that we're going to be launching the yarn bombing, we're running an Easter trail for the children along the New River Path.
Yeah.
So that's going to be super exciting. Loads of Easter eggs for their if they collect the magic
amazing.
Word, and we're just going to hang out on the green and play and just be outside and
bring my little boy along.
Yeah, do it's amazing.
Have you got any kids workshops going on where they can get involved with the knitting and things, or is it just
Yeah. Well, we'll be having the pom-pom makers there on the day, so people can actually sort of get into it. You can make your own pom-pom makers. Really easy to make a pom-pom as well.
I remember making a couple of years ago. It's cardboard and just
yeah. So if you're out there and you're thinking, oh, I'd love to get involved, then please, do YouTube pom-pom making. It's really easy and make a few. Yeah.
Well, I do happen to work a night shift where I get a couple of hours free sometimes.
Oh, perfect. Talk to Steve. It's addictive, apparently.
How many pom-poms are you going to need? You're probably give us something other than pom-poms. I bet you're fed up with the sight
No,
of
it's
them
a
now.
really big bridge. We'll take whatever comes.
I bet by the end of this, you're going to be you're going to have nothing to do. Your hands are just going to be
oh, well, we're already discussing the next project. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it keeps coming up.
More ambitious or...
Oh, well, you've got to go bigger, haven't you?
Well, it's been such a positive response to the yarn bombing that we're hoping that the whole programme will be delivered as an annual event. The Potato Day was really successful, so we're hoping that will become an annual event. As with the growing on the yards for the kiddies.
What's the potato thing? Is it grow the biggest potato or the
No. We had a potato day, which is
I really like the idea of grow the biggest potato though. That's great.
Or the weirdest,
the quirkiest, yeah.
You get some funny looking veg when you grow it yourself. So a potato day is where you get just there's so many different varieties of potato. So if you're a grower, you're kind of into getting the best potato, the best roaster, the best chipper, the best one to mash. You get purple potatoes, lumpy potatoes, pink stripes, all sorts of things. So the Potato Day was all about having a range of stuff out there for especially the kids to look at, just so they realise not all potatoes are round and white.
There's nothing better than a kid wandering around a mysterious garden and poking at worms and wondering what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah, and just connecting with the soil, just messing about in the soil. My 1.5-year-old at the moment he digs for worms. Loves them, absolutely loves them.
And so,
What support have you guys had from the media? You've been on the radio? Have you been on the radio yet?
Oh yeah, we went on to Radio Shropshire a couple of weeks ago, on to the 7:00 show, which was great fun. We took along some yarn with us and had a nice chat about the whole project and what we were doing.
They're nice guys in there. The whole live radio thing scares me, you know.
Yeah, well, we thought we'd be there for maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and 40 minutes later, we're still chatting away.
I shouldn't say that really. One day they'll be like, "Oh, what about Alex Whiteley for the breakfast show?" And like, "Oh no, remember on the podcast he said you'd be scared." And so, what did you say? What the project was for next year? What you had an idea of? What you kind
I
of
didn't. No. Okay, so we did.
I'm intrigued.
We did Potato Day.
Know.
Well, we're hoping our whole program, it runs events throughout the whole year, and it's aimed at getting people into the green spaces, into public green spaces, getting them outside, not just kids, whole families. So the Potato Day was just one of them, and that was the first one. That was in February. The next one's going to be the Easter Nature Trail, and that's when we're going to launch the Yarn Bomb as well. And then we've got events more growing, so peas and beans and sort of looking at different seeds. And then going into autumn and Christmas time as well, we're doing a little bit about feeding the birds and wildlife.
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me when I was a kid when they used to do like street parties and things. You know, you used to get everybody out and they used to like, I don't know, put food on a table and they'd play a bit of music and everybody would be out in their gardens having fun. You don't really see that much anymore. Well, not where I've lived anyway. I don't know about Shrewsbury.
And wouldn't it be great if all that food on the table was grown by all the people that turned up to the party? Yeah, that's the dream, Alex.
I was speaking to a lady just up the road from me in the last summer, and she was like, "Oh, we should do a Bestford Square. Big up anybody that's listening to Bestford Square." I'm sat in the kitchen. She was saying we should open up all the gardens, and it'd just be amazing to run bunting and things for the it sounds like a utopia. It really does.
You guys in Bellevue have got something similar with the open gardens. That's a pretty cool event.
Is there anything else that you want to say about this? I mean, I didn't write any notes. This is an impromptu show. I usually sit down and write notes and do research. Just look at my Instagram. You'll see. So I'm kind of running on gas at the moment. But if there's anything you guys want to say about it, I mean...
I think personally for me, being involved with the yarn bombing has been really lovely because I've got to know people in the community that I would not have met otherwise.
Great point. Yeah.
And it's really nice, and it's kind of, I've made some really good new friends from doing it, and it's, we've all got something in common in the fact that we like to knit and to have a pint on a Tuesday night, and it's just really good fun, and like it's made me feel much more part of where I live, which is pretty unique.
It's a really valid point, because I wouldn't say I'm a hermit, but I'm not the type of guy to go and stick my foot in public affairs like I do now. And since I've done the show and the podcast, I've kind of getting involved with local events and meeting new people, seeing the same people going to things. So I guess it's similar for you guys, seeing people come out in the community. It's
really lovely hearing Alison say that, because the whole Castlefields programme for Lovely Land was about creating opportunity for people to be outside, to gather, to not necessarily rejoice over the potato, but it was a reason and an excuse to get out and share a common interest. And again, this nature trail, it's going to be a lovely little activity for the kids to do, but actually what it is, it's about bringing families out, getting them together. When the school holidays are here and people are at these ends anyway, and just celebrating where we live, and realising that we don't need to sort of travel that far to enjoy our outdoor green spaces. It's
creating social infrastructure. It's giving people something to talk about and to do, rather than sit in your house and watch Jeremy Kyle every day. Get out there and speak to the locals. I love it. I think it's brilliant. And with everything that's going on at the moment, with like, I suppose you guys just deal with young kids, or is there a lot of like sort of teenagers and things get involved with this?
Yeah, so Lovely Land, So we work with lots of schools and early years, so lots of small children, but also with the community project like the Castlefields project, we're working with whole families, we're working with anyone that lives in the community. So that just spans, the wide range. Yeah, it's amazing.
In a world where kids seem to be getting attacked and things taken off them, and funding being lost here, there and everywhere with school and things like that, any kind of help to kind of make people feel secure in their community I think it's a fantastic achievement, So I do applaud you guys for doing this. Anything to bring a community together is priceless, I think.
Thank you. That's great.
No, I really do believe it. That's why I really wanted to speak to you guys, because there are towns that go by with nothing happening. They'll have a meeting now and again at a community centre somewhere where they just hardly anybody turns up to,
I think Shrewsbury's really lucky. I think
But
there's lots of really, really good stuff happening. And yes, the funding has been cut for these centres, but even in Castlefields and Ditherington itself, there's the flax mill with the skate ramps, and there are definitely stuff that's being supported. It's just about getting it out there and using it and enjoying it.
And this is another reason, guys, why I love Shrewsbury the way I do. I was just saying to you guys how much there is to do for youngsters to get out there, and whether you walk through the quarry or whether you walk through town, where you learn history, where you take part in events like this. There's free festivals that go on throughout the year. There's lots of amazing things for kids to see, and it's another reason why this town is the way it is. How did you guys cope? When it's saying it was like snowball and lots of people getting involved and things. How did you deal with that? Because it can be quite daunting, can't it? Then suddenly there's lots of people relying on you for information and for dates and for this and that and the other. How did you cope with that?
Well, actually, it hasn't become overwhelming. What it's become is become amazing. It's rejoiceful. It's confirming and it's motivating.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not loads more work, because all of those people have an interest in what we're doing. They want to help and support. So I've just got like 90 new friends that are helping me out on this project. So it's been absolutely fantastic on that level as well. This was just an opportunity for people to get together, and people have got together, and people are doing amazing things with it. So it's really wonderful. I just wanted to say as well that we don't just meet in pubs.
Let's get that out there
because,
right now.
We're talking about inclusivity, and we're talking about including the whole community, and some people don't like going in pubs. I've never met one, but apparently
there are people out there.
And evenings are difficult for me, but
yeah.
I seem to manage. So we are starting to run events in the local community centre, and I believe the first one's going to be this Saturday, but I might have got that wrong. But this goes that you can cut that bit out.
You can send me anything.
Rachel said something about this Saturday.
I do like a monologue at the beginning, so you can send me what you need to, and I can put it at the beginning.
But there'll definitely be one next Saturday at the community centre, which will be family friendly. There'll be toys for the kiddies to play with. There'll be tables set up with yarn. There'll be wool to take. Please bring any wool if you have any. Bring some needles. Bring some crochet. If you haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, just come and have a look. We'll have some of the work there laid out for people just to have a look at, so they can get an idea of what's going on the bridge. And yeah, hopefully it should be a really good day for everyone.
I bet I've got people out that listen to this show that have got materials and got skills. So if you do listen to the show, you had no idea that this was going on, make sure you get in touch. The Facebook group.
You can get in touch on the Facebook group, which is through the Lovely Land page. Lovely Land's got a website, so all the links are set up on there. It's lovelyland.co.uk, so go along and check that out. And if you just want to chat to someone about it, then my details are on there too. Give us a call, send us an email. Any help, greatly appreciated. It's sort of the last push now, really, before Easter, isn't it?
Yeah.
We need a few more panels, so if there's anyone out there that can knit, crochet, create anything from yarn or wool, that's 5 foot by 3 foot. Then
what size was that again?
5 foot by 3 foot. Please do get in touch.
How close are you from getting?
Well, we're going to be laying it all out in this coming week, I think it is, just to see how it is all going, and kind of, I think we've probably got more than we realise. I think once it's all kind of spread out, we'll be pretty chuffed with what we've achieved so far. But
we've definitely got what we set out to achieve, and there's 5 weeks to go.
Can you imagine if you get this bridge looking like a baggy jumper? You actually did too much.
That you can never have too much.
Never too much yarn.
We'll just extend it beyond and wrap up houses and trees and all kinds.
Yeah, the yarn bomb is growing. It's growing.
Castlefields will disappear.
What are you guys going to do with the yarn and things afterwards? Is there any plans for it?
Well, people have asked, like, can I have mine back? Which is fine, and of course you can. But what we're hoping is that it'll be on show for, a sort of a number of weeks. Then we'll take it down, and hopefully we'll use it in other community events throughout the year. So Castlefields has a pleasure day in the summer, where it's like a little village fete in the middle of Castlefields.
Best day of the calendar year.
Yeah, we all really look forward to it. Big shout out to them who organised that. So I'm sure this year that they will be heavily decorated with bunting. And then And then it will be reeling it out again for next year and adding to it and going bigger and better.
Next year they're going to do the Iron Bridge. Did you hear that, guys?
I don't think we're allowed.
I think the Iron Bridge is actually smaller.
It's just been painted. They won't want that.
Oh yeah, they won't want that.
From the sides, I mean. Can you imagine? Well, guys, this has been awesome. I always ask everybody the same question when they come on my show. I'll ask you both separately. I'll ask you first. What does Shrewsbury mean to you?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm glad I've got time to prep an answer.
Let's put people on the spot. It's quite good when it's kind of honest from the heart, you know.
Well, I sort of lived out in the country most of my life. Moved into Shrewsbury about 6 years ago, straight into Castlefields. So, and I've loved it. I was a bit worried, to be honest, how I'd like it in the town. And since having my small children, it's just been fantastic. It's supportive, inclusive, creative. There's so many things to do, so many amazing people. I just love it.
It's not me saying it this week, guys. It's somebody else. You know, it's repetitive, though. People say this. They say
It's
this,
true.
and it's true, you know. What about you? What does Shrewsbury mean to you, Alison?
Well, I was born and bred in Shrewsbury, grew up in Baston Hill, and went off to uni to Nottingham, and then went and lived in Leeds for my 20s, and then came back to Shrewsbury after doing a bit of travelling because I had nowhere else to go, and lived back at the folks' house. And I just suddenly thought, Shrewsbury's lovely. I might stay here. And yeah, I've been back for about 5 years now, and it's just, you know, it's got everything I need. The city's a train ride away. You know, nothing's too far from here.
Yeah.
We have working Wi-Fi and things like that, so it's fine. We're connected to the outside world. But no, it's having the countryside on the doorstep, having great places to eat and to drink and to socialise. And yeah, it's just, people are nice here. People are happy. And there's community spirit, which is, you know, pretty good.
Fantastic. Right, let's go for this one last time then towards the end of the show. The yarn bombing is going on when?
Okay, so the launch of the yarn bombing is on the 20th of April. That's Easter weekend. It's on the Saturday, and it will be the family nature trail on that day. So 11 till 1.
Mm-hmm.
You meet at the bridge, come and have a look at the yarn bombing, and then come and take part in the trail, or just hang out, just come and have a look.
Encouraging people to bring their kids to take part in the trail.
Yeah, big family day.
Yeah.
Just come and have a look at the work. So that's on the Saturday. There are events leading up to that. We've got a family art session happening the weekend before. All the details are on the website of all the events. And then Lovely Land carries on into sort of the winter, really, with events in Castlefields. So there's loads of stuff up there. Yeah, go and check it out.
Got many plans for the summer? It's prime time for you guys gardening.
Yeah, well, it is. But the pleasure day, sort of, we'll be doing something at the pleasure day, I hope. I think Rachel's going to help us out with that one. And yeah, we'll be sort of planting all sorts for those gardens out the front of the yards. Yeah,
maybe we can start something in Bellevue.
Let's
You
do it.
you got something going on here.
Let's do it.
You know. Well, guys, listening. If you do have wool, if you have skills and you want to help out, make sure you check out the website lovelyland.co.uk. All the links there are for the events taking place and what Lovely Land stands for, what they do, and where their projects were around town. So make sure you get involved. I mean, it's something great about the community. Get hands on. If you've got young ones that aren't in school yet, not in nursery, bring them along. You know,
absolutely.
they'll learn.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on the show, especially at short notice. You've been brilliant. And
Thank
guys,
you for having us. Yeah, it's been fun.
give you as much exposure as I can because I think it's a great project. You know?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, guys. Peace out, guys.